Wait. All right, we're live. So, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Kuro, I beg you, say hello louder, with more spirit, with more gravitas. Excellent. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. So hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or whenever you're watching this, and welcome to the first. No, not the first. This is the 5th episode. I will have to learn to remove that from this little script part I have right here. But the 5th episode of this is an interview show where I, the host Him-chan, interviews VTubers big or small on who they are, how they became VTubers, and how VTubing impacted their lives. VTubing being where a person uses a virtual avatar generated by computer graphics as an aesthetic to do anything they want online. But to tighten the show's scope, we will be focusing on the content creators and streamers. Now here we aim to abide by oral history methodology, so expect some level of chronology and narrative structure. But if we are everywhere with everything at once in this session, then so be it. At some point during the interview, we will be polling community questions for our interviewee. So watchers think long and hard for that, and be wary to keep it within chat roles down in the description below. And please save them for when such a section begins. Finally, if there are any VTubers out there that wish to come on the show to share their stories, send a message to the email also down below in the description. Or find it on this channel's About page, and I'll see you to schedule you in. The only qualifications, as of now, is having a model, level of following, and experience in some level of content creation, whether it be streaming or prepared content. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to the interview. Today, we are interviewing a VTuber that is also a vet assistant. So, welcome, Kuro Tonin, or Kuro for short. There we go. Now, Kuro, what's your opinion on ice cream? What flavor is your favorite? Or are you just more of the basic vanilla lifestyle?
I personally prefer dark chocolate mint.
Dark chocolate mint?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you talking about like chocolate ice cream with a little bit of mint flavoring, or are we talking about like mint ice cream with chocolate chips?
Yeah.
Yeah. The latter.
I can't really have ice cream that often though, since I'm lactose intolerant.
I got. Ooh. Do you have to take like a lactate? I think it's lactate. Pill.
Yeah.
For that.
I actually don't take any pill because I always tell myself I'm no bitch.
Rolling.
I'll regret it later.
Living life to the fullest, huh?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking the consequence later.
Exactly, Ryder. Straight into the ice cream question. So so Kuro, who are you? What do you stream?
I usually stream the basic games like Valorant, Overwatch. But I prefer to stream more horror games related because I find that funnier, and I find enjoyment playing a game that scares me like no tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. What rank are you in Valorant?
I peaked Silver 3.
Silver 3?
Mm-hmm. Also, my dogs might bark in the background, so I apologize for that.
I got that. What are their names?
I have 3 dogs in the room currently. Kairo's my little German Shepherd, Chow Chow mutt mix. Then I have a pure Shiba Inu, Yui. Oh. And my little senior dog, Maltese Poodle, Bubby. And then my cats also hang out in here.
Mm-hmm. Are they just cats, or are they like tabbies, or?
They're all. Oh, you probably. He's already growling. They're all domestic short hair. One domestic long hair. I adopted all my pets from the shelter except for Bubby. So I don't know what they are. They just tell me short hair, long hair, medium hair.
So what kind of hobbies do you have?
Do I have hobbies?
Crochet?
I crochet, yeah.
Oh,
Like I told you
cool.
last time, I do
Yeah,
crochet.
yeah.
But I did start up my own little business at one point where I was really into crocheting. I do have my own little brand name that I start off called Kuro, a special serotonin.
Mm-hmm.
But I got too busy with work that I ended up just not putting it all aside. So unfortunately, I did make a couple of items for my coworkers and friends for fun.
Uh-huh.
I haven't actually thought about selling stuff because that would require me to make more things with the time I don't have. So I'm
Uh-huh.
just making more like my own brand name, but doing it as a gift rather than actually doing profit.
I got that. I got that. For the when you were managing your like mini enterprise, what online marketplace did you use? Like Etsy or something?
I did try to use Etsy, but
Uh-huh.
as I mentioned, because I didn't really have time to make it into a bigger enterprise, like even
Mm-hmm.
putting it up online, I just used Instagram for like a day or two and then never again.
Never again. Did you have like
Never again.
a big influx of customers or um?
They're all my coworkers because they're like, oh, since you're making these things, I want like a unicorn, a family of penguins, some foxes, and I'm like, sure, if I
I
have time.
I assume they want to cheap out on shipping and handling. I suppose.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That might be why they wanted all that.
They also have kids and they wanted to give it to them as birthday gifts, and I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh.
Hmm.
Oh. What what's your favorite crochet project? Or what was your favorite crochet project?
My favorite.
Mm.
Oh, I think my biggest project that I've done, and my favorite was probably a turtle I made way back. It was the size of 3 cats combined.
3 cats combined.
It was a big turtle that I made. I don't know why. I just saw when I was at Michael's, the art store, I was like, ooh, this looks like a really nice yarn. It's so soft. Let me get this and make a turtle. That turtle took me at least 4 days to make, accumulated time.
4 days. 4
Yeah,
days. Wow.
because my hand cramps and everything, so I just kind of
yeah.
put it aside.
Yeah. the pain will make you learn.
It really did. I have not made a large turtle anymore. I did make a mini turtle, but that also took probably just maybe 2 days instead, since it was shrunken in size by 4. It was
I got
much smaller.
Oh, I take it you obviously love animals.
Yes.
All right. Is there a particular animal you like the most? Do you have a favorite pet?
Oh. Yes.
Ooh. Ooh.
No
Alright.
shame in saying it. Yes.
I. Some people have their favorite child. So why not their
Exactly.
favorite furry child?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Favorite animal has to be cats. I actually grew up loving cats, but then I never had a cat until recently. In recent years, so I only had dogs back then. So when I started working at the shelter, I was like, I don't know how to handle a cat, so I don't want to be with the cats. I want to be with the dogs because I'm more used to that. But when I met my cats at the shelter, fell in love, learned how to handle a cat, so now I'm only more cat person rather than a dog. I still like dogs, but cats are definitely better in my opinion. Sorry for
Oh no,
dog
no.
fans.
I'll take that. I'll take that bias incredibly well. But-
Nice.
Yes, nice. So, did this love for animals impact your decision to become a vet?
Oh, yes.
Mm.
I trying to. A lot of people ask me when I wanted to become a vet. I honestly cannot remember how I learned the word vet when I was a child, but I remember distinctly as saying I want to be a vet since I was an elementary school student.
Oh, man.
I just think it was because I had so many stray cats back where I used to live. So I was just like, yeah, cats are great. Animals are great. They're fluffy. They don't talk back to you.
They might.
They're all good.
I mean, some cats may swat at you.
Oh, I love spicy cats. So you know what? They
Yeah.
could swat all.
Have you ever rolled one up in a burrito?
Yes, actually, I feel bad doing it sometimes because I'm like, I actually had to do it earlier this morning for when I had to take blood from him for the FBI IV test. I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm just rolling this cat into a blanket. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And this cat's just growling, hissing. Burritos are hard, not gonna lie.
Got
They're
that?
really hard to do because cats are very agile. They'll get, when there's a will and there's a way, they'll get out of it. And that cat actually got out of it. So I'm like, oop.
Would you recommend squishing the cat?
Yes, actually.
There we go.
The fatter the cat, you have to squish it.
More.
The fatter they
Oh,
are.
I got that. I got that. You mentioned. Oh, sorry. Go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, usually a lot of people don't recommend that,
Yeah.
but because it's actually very dangerous towards your face, especially if you're holding them down for bloods. I don't do this at home or anywhere else. I always use my head and my whole weight to push down a cat when I can. Just
I got that.
because the cat, as we all know, can be fractious and dangerous. So I just put a blanket on top of them, squish them with my head, and have someone else hold their legs. And I'm like, this is it. If I lose an ear, I lose an ear. It all goes down here.
Worth it?
100%.
I got
Maybe
it.
not, but yeah.
You mentioned where you had stray cats where you used to live. If you don't mind, where were you?
I was in the Bronx.
The Bronx.
Really.
Oh.
Yeah, the Bronx. I was part of the hood. But in my backyard there are like a bunch of strays at the time. And if you don't see one, you see the other one. And it's just non-stop strays. But I also think it's because there are a lot of rats. So
I
a
got
lot
that.
of mousers, as we call it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I've only met 2 or 3 stray cats in my memory, but my sister said, yeah, there were a lot of strays. I'm like, for that. Oh, sure.
Oh yeah. South side or north side Bronx?
I'm directionally challenged, so
I see.
I don't know where I was.
I got that.
I don't think I was that deep into the Bronx. I was probably more on like the surface, like the edge of it.
I got that. All right. And if you don't mind, what is your family like?
In
Yeah,
terms of,
I'm not sure. Let's just say in general.
in general, I think my family are very loving, very funny. I always joke with them, say how I'm the chopped liver at home. So it's a family of 5 daughters, just daughters, and my parents, and my 8 other pets. I'm the 4th child out of 5, and I'm always making fun of them. I'm chopped liver. Whenever you guys go on vacation, my parents would text my other sisters and not me.
Oh, that's cruel. That's cruel.
It's cruel. But I was like, to this day, it never really bothered me. I just love making fun of them. I'm like, yeah. So whenever they're like, oh, can you do me a favor? I'm like, oh, you want a favor from this chopped liver? Now I'm in now I'm important for you to talk to. And they will always roll their eyes and they're like, this never happened. I'm like, yeah, how about that time you guys went to London and just texted my third sister and the youngest and not me, and they're just silence. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm spiteful.
I get that. So I know that you said that you don't really know when you wanted to become a vet assistant or a vet. But when did you enter veterinary medicine?
I actually let's see. I graduated college, so I haven't actually gone into vet school yet. I'm actually applying to vet school this cycle. So I'm suffering through that now. I'm excited if I get it. I'm excited to study again and then cry about it later. But I started in the medical animal field 4 years ago as I was graduating college. I was really testing to see if I really wanted to become a vet because my science grades were never the best. So I was like, you know what? This is not it. Goodbye veterinarian school. This is not it for me. But then I graduated college. As I was graduating, I'm like, I need a job. I can't keep working as a camp counselor anymore for the 8th year. I'm tired of these children. I'm tired of it. I want an actual job. So I applied at the animal as a kennel associate first. I wasn't actually a vet assistant that yet. Loved it, and then I decided, yeah, let's try to study back for vet school again. And since then, I was retaking all my classes that I did terribly on. Retook my science classes that I needed for the prerequisites for vet school. Finally done it after 3 years, and now I'm applying. See how it goes.
All right. What did you have to major in college in order to have the qualifications to apply as a vet or go into veterinary medicine?
Usually it's same thing as a medical field for doctors. You have to be in the medical field, so you have to be either biology major, chemistry, any of the science field. I did none of that. I graduated with a social science, I believe, anthropology.
Hey, welcome to the humanities and the social sciences. Woo.
Yeah, I actually loved it a lot. I enjoyed every class I took. I wasn't expecting. My older sister was like, "Oh, you know what? You should do anthropology because if this is word for word what she said, if you graduate with an anthropology major, everywhere you apply to, though, like schools will be more interested in you because it's a very different major applying rather than the basics, biology, chemistry." I'm like, interesting. As a child, yeah, I was like, you know what? That is a very interesting thought. I will go with it. I went with it, graduated. I'm like, what am I going to do with this major? As different as it is, I don't have the prereqs I needed for med school.
Your sister lied to you.
She screwed me up.
Alright. If you when you go into veterinary medicine, is there a specialization you want to go into?
I know a lot of. There was a time where I wanted to do like all animals, like farm animals, small animals, all of that, because I am one of those type of people that are thirsty for knowledge, and especially for animals. I still want to do like all that, like equine, or like dogs, cats, cows, pigs, but realistically speaking, I'll probably stick with small animals like cats, dogs, maybe rabbits, maybe reptiles.
Why rabbits and reptiles?
Rabbits because my shelters, for some reason, decided to rescue rabbits. So
Wow.
I probably have to study rabbits. Reptiles because my boss, my vet technician boss, actually told me that when she was studying for school, reptilians were part of the studies you have to do. And I'm like, oh, it's interesting. And because I actually personally like snakes. I think snakes are very cute.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind studying a little bit more reptilian just for snakes and little geckos.
I get that. Yeah.
Tortoises.
Do you have any plans on getting a reptile as a pet?
At this time, no. I'm full capped at 8 pets in this. I don't think I have any room for a reptile.
Kuro,
And I
the
think
dog
my-
and cat lady.
Yeah, 100%. I live by the title. My friends were like, "You're gonna be not a cat lady." I'm like, you know what? At this point, I have to accept it. There's no point in denying it. I have 5 cats, and there's nope. Why
Do not
deny
deny
it
your
when it's
children.
true?
Exactly. You do not deny your child. Therefore, you shall not deny your furry child.
Exactly. I should not be like my parents that treat me as children.
I get that.
But yeah, one of them is actually sitting in front of me right now on the keyboard,
Oh, cute.
hanging out.
Cute. What is your I don't know if this was answered, but what are your career goals? Within veterinary medicine.
I just really wanted to try to make a difference in pet life. Only because my first dog passed away of heart failure. And yes, we tried everything to save that poor little man. But of course, didn't work out as we hoped. But seeing the veterinarian actually like fall in love with my dog, she full on was telling me, "Oh, I think he could make it through. He did great the last time. He'll be able to do it this time." And then seeing her fall apart with us in that room when we humanely euthanized him made me think like, wow, being a vet's hard, but she at least could proudly say she tried to save someone's best friend. So I want to be someone similar. Like, I don't want to be one of those vets that are like, hey, it's no point in trying with meds. Just humanely euthanize and just let go of the suffering. Yes, usually that is the better case, depending on the situation. But I always feel like if there is a way, why don't you try it before going towards the worst case scenario?
Would you say that lady was a role model of yours?
She is. She and the other veterinarian for my dog from at the job I work at currently. I'd say they're both role models. They were both very nice too, compared to the other vets.
What is your now that you have some, I want to say some veterinary experience as, of course, a vet assistant. What has your experiences been with other veterinarians, or at least bringing your pets to a vet?
I want to say now that I've, like, in comparison to before I became a vet assistant, experiencing working with veterinarians. Before that, I was always like, why is it so long? What do they have to do that's making me wait this long? I was those typical Karens that just silently sit there waiting for our turn. But after working with veterinarians and in the shelter, I now know there's a lot piled up. Like, as much as they want to get to the next client as soon as possible, they just can't, because we never know what animal prior to them has more needs. Like, what if they're crashing and then the next patient has to wait a little longer? I've learned that there's always a reason behind something.
Mm.
I also felt that I've learned this too when I started working with one of them. She will always like pick up the phone and be like, has this chipper voice, like, oh, she's so nice, and when she hangs up she just starts cursing, talking smack. I was like, oh,
Oh.
that was your customer service voice. This is how you feel.
Mm.
And now I understand why she does that, because a lot of the time people ask redundant questions that we've already answered, and we have no choice but to answer it again and again and again.
How frequent do you encounter those kinds of pet owners?
Oh, every day.
Every day. Every day.
Once every day. Especially since I work more with the adoption center rather than clients. Every adopter that comes in are usually new adopters, like new pet owners, which is perfectly fine. Ask as many questions as you want. But they will all often re-ask the same question, but word it differently. So I'm just like, as I said before, X, Y, and Z. And then they would ask again. Like, there was one time this adopter asked about intestinal parasites. And I'm like, oh, you can't get it as long as you don't eat it. And they're like, okay, but can our dog get it? And I'm like, as long as your dog don't eat it, your dog is fine. And then he asked the same question again, but saying, what if our dog goes outside and that dog poops? What do we do? I'm like, as long as your dog don't eat it, he's fine. It's great. Working there is great. It really builds on your patience.
The life in customer service.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Alright. I mean, how often do you have to educate pet owners on this sort of stuff, or have to educate them in any way?
Pretty often, because I feel like it's a pretty known thing that not many pet owners or especially new pet owners, not know what certain vaccines do and what certain medical conditions do. So oftentimes I would always have to explain everything anyway, even if they do know, just so oh, there goes my dog. Just so I could don't get in trouble by them saying, oh, this girl never explained any of this for me. But usually I explain the most is the vaccine protocol and how important it is. Cairo, you're okay, babe. You're okay. You're okay.
For the chat's sake, I believe a good chunk of your pets are on your TikTok page.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to check out some cuties, some 8 lovely cuties, you can always check Kuro's TikTok for those cuties.
Yes. I also have post the pets from it too, if you ever take a look at those.
Oh. I see where you're going with that. I see.
Adopt, don't shop.
Exactly. How has there ever been like any like challenging or stressful situations with either the pet patient or owner?
There were a few. Usually, a lot of times where an adopter adopts an animal that has a medical condition.
Yeah.
Most often, depending on the medical condition, we do cover it in our shelter. Such as like if it has a mast cell tumor that we removed, that kind of situation is usually covered in the future. Because even if we completely excise the malignant mass, it doesn't mean that the dog or cat will never get another one. Because usually once you have a cancer cell, like a big cancer cell like that, it typically will come back. Hopefully not. So those kind of situations, we will take care of it medically. If not covered, it will be covered at lower cost. So compared to other vet clinics that will charge them X amount of money, we will charge most of it, and they would just have to pay like maybe a third of it rather than that. A lot of times I had to explain situations like that. And then there are some conditions that aren't covered, and a lot of times they'll be like, why not? You guys caught this. Like a simple cold, a lot of people are like, you should cover this. And we're like, we're not. We're sending home meds now, but once your animal is free from this cold, it's out of our hands. If they catch a cold again later, that's all on you guys, because they didn't catch a cold here. It was healthy here. Especially with people comes adopt, they're like, oh, what if I adopt this animal that's healthy now, but then it develops, like, let's say, God forbid, cancer later? Will you guys still cover that? And I'm like, no. The animal is healthy here. It went home healthy. It'll all be on your side from there on. And it always causes some sort of trouble, somehow, some way. I don't know why, especially ringworm for some reason becomes a big thing. Like right now is ringworm season, and a lot of people freak out for it. They're like, "Oh my god, my animal has ringworm. Would you guys be covering this?" And I'm like, "Your animal does not have ringworm. You're fine. Don't worry. It's just environmental rather than fungal." And then they will always find some sort of way to bite us back, and we're like, "No. It's in the contract. Nice try." It doesn't work like that. But pretty often I have to argue with adopters and clients about it.
I got that. I forgot to ask this, but when did you become a vet assistant? Like, let's give a year.
This will be my official 3rd year.
3rd year? Alright.
I think, if math is correct.
So you started in 2020? Would it be a good estimate?
Yeah, as a vet assistant, yes. I started working at my organization team, but I transferred over 2020. COVID. Peak of COVID.
Actually, that begs another question. Like, what was your experiences during that period as a vet assistant? Like, how was the customers? let's bring back to like the pet owners' behavior during the time.
In terms of like, how do they react to their new furry family, or?
I suppose so. I think a better question would be like, have you noticed did you notice like a large influx of adoptions at the shelter?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Especially during holidays, because a lot of times people like to do, I'm getting a pet as a gift for my loved one, and we're always like, oh, that's so sweet. You can't do that. And oftentimes, as everyone always asks, like, why not? So because we had a unfortunate history in time where an animal got adopted as a gift, and that animal was abused. It did make it to the news at one point a few years ago, and they did bring the guy to court, and I think they did put him in jail in the end. But a lot of gift adoptions, we always tell them, you're more than welcome to adopt as a gift, but that person has to be here, because we don't want animals being returned. We accept almost every return animals, but we try not to let that happen, because most of the animals that get adopted and returned were mainly because it has puppy behavior. It keeps biting me. It keeps pooping or peeing in the house. It's too rowdy. I never wanted a puppy, kind of thing. I
got you.
Oh, especially allergies. Allergies are always a common excuse. And I'm like, well, that sucks. You should have been here to adopt if that was the case.
I say that's a pretty decent policy. You know, just
Yeah.
always have like another, just to weed out the, or at least try to weed out the gift pet. Which actually begs the question: how often do you get get pet owners that want a return on their pet, or return their pet to the shelter?
Like how many people actually want to return their animals?
Yeah.
We had a few that asked if I adopt this animal and I for X, Y, and Z can't have it, what would we do? We always tell them we always take them back as long as they pass our behavioral test. Because as much as I said, oh, we take back all of our animals. If the animal has displayed aggression and fail every behavioral test that we do, it is deemed unable to be homed into our shelter because it becomes a danger to the trainers if the animal won't even let the trainers do the test for the animal. Usually if they fail a test, they have to rehome the animal on their own, and there's nothing we could do from there. There was a time where my friend actually adopted from us, but her puppy went neurological in a way, started attacking the family members out of nowhere, out of the blue. She did tell me, this was a year into my working there, she did tell me that my organization did not allow her to return because the dog has a massive amount of bite history already. So she actually had to take it to the vet and humanely euthanize because that dog was behaviorally unable to be rehomed at that point. It becomes a danger. So I was like, that sucks. That's sad. But sometimes it has to be done, especially if medication doesn't work to help the animal anymore.
I got that. Has there been a very special story that happened? I mean, like, could you tell us like a very special story of your experience as a vet? Like, has there been like a certain pet that always pops up or always returns to your care?
Yeah.
It's sort of like a saga of some one pet or another.
Yes.
Go.
A few actually. So there
a
was
few. Okay.
this for dogs. We have actually, as sad as I say it, there are actually a lot of dogs that had been in the shelter since they were a puppy. So again, our shelter is a no-kill shelter. So if the animal comes in, they stay with us until death. So we don't kick them out. We don't euthanize them unless medically needs to be or behaviorally. But they all stay with us for X amount of years till they can. We have a lot of senior dogs that stayed with us because of bad history with previous owners. There was one, his name was Maximus. He was adopted as a puppy, returned because of puppy behavior. Second time he was adopted as a puppy, maybe like 4 months old by then, he was returned because he was, again, puppy behavior. See, it's always puppy behavior. The third time he went home, he was a little older by then. He started guarding and protecting and being overprotective of the owner. So they had to return him because of that behavior. And I'm like, that's understandable at that point. The fourth time he went home, he guarded the adopter's wife from him. And whenever he would sit down next to his wife, dog went after him. Dog goes to bite him. So they returned him for that. And I think the fifth time he went home, he guarded the male owner from his brother.
All right.
So he was a type of dog that kind of tricks people. My belly's exposed. I dare you to rub it, just like a cat. The owner's brother thought the dog thought he wanted a belly rub, went to rub his belly, went and attacked him. So he was returned. He's stayed with us since then. No one was able to really get to adopt him. We had a massive amount of people that were attracted to this dog. He was a gorgeous German Shepherd, but because of the behavior, just knocks everyone out because they don't have the right experience and they don't have the confidence that they're able to work with it. So, oh, there goes my dog. So unfortunately, he never found a home. He is no longer. Kuro, you're fine. Let me open the door for him real quick so he could go greet.
Well, how's everyone doing? We have a dog loose right now. We are currently having a little pause.
Sorry.
Hey, welcome back.
So, yeah, he's no longer with us anymore because we found a sanctuary that takes care of these kind of behavior dogs. So we sent him there, and he's actually much happier there. He has bigger space, bigger yard, and people that are always working with him 24/7. So I was like, so he's actually much better and happier there than in a shelter that he'll be staying in the cage for that long. So he was one of the stories. A cat story now.
All right,
I had a cat that I was absolutely obsessed with. This was before I adopted my 3 other cats. This was when I only had 2. His name was Ozzy. He was a cute little white tabby. And he was one of those behavior cats, very scared, doesn't approach people. But for some reason, he will always come say hi to me. This was when I was still in associates. I obviously got so attached to this cat. When adopters came to meet him, he would always run away and scatter. So he never was able to build a relationship with adopters and people because he's too busy running away and hiding. He came in as a kitten, like 4 months. When he reached 8 months, he went into his first home. I cried buckets when he went home. I nonstop. I did the paperwork with her. I put the cat in the care, and I'm like, "Hi, I hope you enjoy your new life." As she went into the elevator, I just started crying like nonstop. But then he was returned because he wasn't acclimating well in the home.
Alright.
She only gave him a few days though, so I was like, you need to give him more than that. But she didn't want him anymore. And I'm like, that's fine. Second home he went into, he had another cat in the home. So it was a cat that could encourage him. So sent him off again, cried buckets once more. But then I would get text from this owner often saying something's wrong with his eyes. He has like eye boogies coming out. So he has conjunctivitis. I'm like, oh, you just need to take him to the vet, get some eye drops, and he should be cleared. She went to the vet, wasn't getting clearing away, and then her own cat started vomit. Actually, no, I think she said that he vomited blood. So she brought it to get seen. Nothing wrong with the cat, and later in the week, she returned the animal because she doesn't want to stress out her cat in the home. So I was like, I see. So you're stressing out our cat instead by returning it again. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But he did find his forever home. When I wasn't at work, my coworkers texted me, hey, just wanted to know, Ozzy found a home. They're doing great. Here's her number. I gave her your number so she could catch up with you. She would sometimes send me updates on him. And the most recent update was when he was sitting under a Christmas tree. And I was like, oh, he got so fat too. He was adopted, I think, at 1.5 years old. 1.5 years old when he came in as a kitten. He was a good kid. I like that.
Right?
There are more, but I won't dive into that.
I got that. I got that. They're good. They were good. Both happy endings.
Yes, yes, yes.
One ending up in a great place for doggos, and the other being a fat knocker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
a fat boy now.
Yeah,
Love
yeah,
that.
yeah. Mhm. Um, I do know that animal shelters are pretty, at least from my understanding of them, there has always been like a financial issue with supporting uh, shelters. So, do you have any experience with that, or any form of like, how do I say, what's the word?
Hardship kind of thing.
Hardship, exactly. That I think that would be a good thing. Do you have any hardship with the financial issues that may occur with an animal shelter?
I want to say our shelter's actually pretty lucky because we have celebrities often donates a lot of money, and because they donate, they are considered our sponsors.
Yes.
So I want to say we're actually a pretty well-off shelter, also one of the biggest animal shelter in the world, I want to say.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm just tooting my own horn at work, but I want to say we're one of the biggest shelters, at least in the state. Because we have like not three floors, 2 floors. Upstairs are all cats, downstairs are all dogs. And the cats are not in cages. They're actually, in fact, free roam in rooms because thanks to the donations that a lot of celebrities do. The only hardships I go through working at an animal shelter is the pay.
Oh.
Is the pay, actually, because we're a non-profit organization.
Yeah.
We're literally scraping by thanks to donations. And the pay isn't the best compared to city jobs. So I'm barely getting paid minimum wage. I don't really mind it because I'm a workaholic, so I'll just keep grinding no matter what. But a lot of people you typically complain about the pay because of it, and I always say it's most likely because we're a non-profit organization, and because the first 5 pets that you own are completely covered at the vet, so you don't need to pay a single cent when you bring your pet to the vet. So I'm like, we got good pet insurance here, which is why I never left.
Pet insurance.
Yep. Yep.
Say 50% or more on your cats.
Exactly. Yeah, that's probably the main reason why I kept the dog, because I was like, hey, my first pet's completely covered. Yeah, I'll just keep taking more animals in. Why not? I regret doing that, not gonna lie, but nothing I can do about now.
How do you feed yourself? How do you feed yourself?
I barely scrape by. Sometimes I don't eat because I need to buy pet food. My pets come first. My pets come before me. And I still live with my parents, so my parents take care of me while I take care of my kids. I'm like, this is nice. I don't need to worry about rent like other adults. I'm gonna just stay home, get spoiled as I spoil my kids.
I assume you will possibly get a let's say a pay raise when you bump up to a veterinarian position.
Oh yeah, that is to say if I get in, but yeah.
Hey.
I'll probably suffer for like 5 years after school because I need to pay off loans.
I got that.
But the job I'm at, apparently, if I work there for 10 years, they actually pay off my loan. And I was like, oh shit, and I'm halfway there. Just need to suffer 5 more years and I'll be fine. I hope they keep that rule. Because if they don't, that will just bite me
Oh,
in the
absolutely.
arse.
Alright. So, why are you a VTuber?
I can't really say why. I wanna. So never really thought of becoming a VTuber in the past. I did do a lot of. I did start streaming for fun because I wanted to show the world my cat. So I did do cat streaming for a while. Just for a few though. But then I got busy with work. The more I went on TikTok, the more I saw VTubers on TikTok, and I was in love with the whole motto, how cool that AI situation is. My role model for the VTubing world is Monarch, and Sayu, because they're one of the, as I remember mentioning to you, they were like one of the major VTubers that I've met. No, not met, but like learned of. And they're also not only just VTubers, they're also voice actors. And I did want to do voice acting before. I still do. But unfortunately, there is no time for me to actually try to aspire to become a voice actor. Because as much as I'm struggling to work, to pay for my cats and dogs food, I'm also trying to go to school at this time, and I'm already barely streaming as much as I can. It'll be hard to work as a voice actor. I still do want to do it though, as a fun side job, because my coworkers they heard me talk to one of the animals before, and they're like, you should just do voiceover. They did not expect me to make a sound that I did when I was at work. I was like, oh. They're like, what the heck was that sound? I'm like, oh, that was me. I'm sorry. They're like, you should definitely try it out. I'm like, I did try it out, but I don't know how to have my foot in the door for that world, because it's kind of difficult to find trustworthy places online application.
Alright.
It sucks. Yeah.
Have you ever collabed with other VTubers? Alright.
I have.
Have you particularly collabed with VTubers looking for people to voice act with them on like visual novels?
I have seen some of those posts, but unfortunately they have little set times that they want to do, and I'm never able to do those because I'm at work or a different time zone. I have seen and try to reach out for those, but it just never worked out, unfortunately.
I got that.
Maybe one day.
One day. Once the what do you call it about? What do you call your work / life / school balance? Wait. Your situation with work, school, and life, a balance?
No.
No.
It's absolutely no. I unfortunately prioritize my work more than socializing. I would always be picking up overtime shift. Always. Never a time where I'm just like, no. My boss will always come to me first now. She's like, hey, do you want overtime? I'm like, yes. For all your OT shift. And because my shifts were already weird, I don't work the typical Monday to Friday. I work Friday to Tuesday, so I work on the weekends. And my friends were like, hey, let's hang out. I'm like, yeah, sure. When? They're like, this weekend. I'm like, oh, I'm working both weekends. They're like, oh, let's hang out Friday. And I'm like, I'm still working Friday. My days are usually people's work days, so I'm almost never hanging out with people unless I take vacation days, and that almost never happens too, because the grind don't stop. The grind for that bread never stops. Once it stops, there's no going back. So yeah, my work life, social life is very off balance. I'm only trying to get it back recently, but it's still not working. I cannot say no to the temptation of overtime. I'm a workaholic. I need to fix that.
When did your workaholicism start? If you can pinpoint a year or like
Honestly,
a time.
I think I have always had it. Back when I was a camp counselor, just for the summer, the usual time would be working at 8 a.m. to like 4 p.m.
Yeah.
I would, when my boss at the time offered me, hey, do you want a morning camp and after camp shift? I'm like, what are the hours there? They're like 6 to 6. I'm like, sign me up, because that sounds like money. So I always ask, hey, I would love to do morning and evening camp now. And that started when I was only in high school. And it has never stopped since then. It just only gotten worse, actually.
You're embodying what the young kids say as a Sigma brain grind set. Wait, no. A Sigma grind mindset. So what do they call it? The young kids, the youngins, the young Gen Zers nowadays.
I actually don't even know.
I don't know.
I didn't know there was a term.
So it's something that is generated out of like I don't know like there we go, Sigma grind set. There we go. Thank you very much, Nebo. Yeah. It's born by like male podcasters or whatever. It's funny for the most part. It's like that Chad meme that popped up around like 2021 or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned you follow Monarch, which also doing a little bit of my little googling. They are also Amelie, which is a anime opening cover artist, at least from my experience. So yeah.
She's a senior and everything. I love it.
When did you hear about VTubing?
Maybe last year, I want to say, when I became very active on TikTok, posting animal videos. That's when I started seeing more of it. I don't remember. Maybe when I started following one of the popular streamers, it just started popping up in my For You page, like other streamers, and then it slowly branched off to VTubing, and I'm like, whoa, this is cool. I want to say last year, not too long ago.
Who was your first?
Definitely Monarch and then Sayu, and then I just started looking into other VTubers, but I only really remember 4, which is Monarch, Sayu, and then Orihime and Alexandria. And then it just slowly branched off from there. But I only remember those 4 them because they were the most popular on TikTok.
Despite tie into what you already said, but when did you start VTubing, or at least moved into VTubing? When did you start your VTuber journey? We already got we know that Monarch definitely inspired you, so.
The whole journey, like beginning it, started last December. Or actually last November, when I impulse found a artist draw me my model, that it was an impulse purchase.
All right.
And it started on exactly probably November 4th. And then it took a bit for them to draw and rig the model, and I didn't actually start VTubing on like streaming until maybe 2-3 months ago.
2 to 3 months. All right.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Probably around there.
I get that.
Yeah.
How did you come up with your VTubers design? Your model's design.
So the hair that you see here is actually similar to my hair. Well, my
Yes.
hair grew out, so now it's ponytail, but I've always had asymmetric hairstyle where one side is longer than the other. I've also had countless highlights back then where I had purple, pink, blue, always smashed up together. But working at the shelter, I'm no longer allowed to have that because it's a fashion color, so I'm not allowed to have it in my hair. Otherwise, it could be like a bad reputation for shelter for
That's
who
interesting.
knows why. It's weird. It's a weird rule that they did. So I have my motto based off how I usually have my hairstyle is. I always wore a cap. There's never been a time I didn't wear a cap back then. And as for the outfit, I wanted it to be more street. I've always preferred comfort over, not over style, but like style and comfort together. So but I would never wear like something like a dress or anything. So I chose a very street design, and they just came up with this for me.
All right.
Street casual. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are you heterochromatic?
I wish I was. My cat is though.
Ooh.
Yeah, 2 of my cats are. Have
Is
the
that
same exact color as my eyes.
Huh? They do look. Those pupils do look cat-like. Is that another detail that you asked your artist?
No,
Yeah.
actually,
No?
she just did this on their own, and I'm like, wow, it's
Wow.
so nice.
Who was your artist?
My artists, their name is Kivo. They don't have their Twitter available because their Twitter is more of their personal life rather than
got that.
business. I mean, that's fair. So when I asked if I could drop like their information down there, it's like, yeah, you can, but I just don't have any online thing. And I'm like, I could literally verbally mention Kivo, Kivo. They're great, but I don't know if they're drawing anymore. I think they're having their own family or personal situation that they have to get through.
All right. One moment, I lost my tab. There we go. There we go. And what was the origin of your username?
So my username, out of all my games that I play, I will always have some sort of Japanese. So it started off with Kurosawa, which means Black Swan. I don't know why, but I just love that name. And then on Discord, I didn't want to put Kurosawa because I feel like that's quite a mouthful for people to say, and when they call me. So I just put it as at first Kuro. And then I was hanging out with a friend, and they're like, "Oh, you're really fun to hang out with." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. I like to bring serotonin to people." They're like, "Should be Kurotonin." I'm like, "That is the cutest name on earth," and I kept it since.
Two brains working together, like two peas in a pod.
Like, the best name. I love it. Very catchy too.
Oh, it is. It is a very marketable name.
It really is. Yeah, serotonin.
Yeah, exactly, serotonin.
Providing smiles and happiness.
What were some of the challenges you faced starting as a VTuber?
Probably networking was.
Mm-hmm.
I see myself as an extrovertly introvert, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I got that. I got that.
Like right now I could be seen as a very talkative extrovert person, but reaching out to people is really hard for me. And I'm like,
I got
oh,
that.
should I just talk to this person or not? Like online is definitely easier, but in real
Oh,
life
yeah.
it's so much harder. I get very anxious. As I told you pre-stream, I'm like, this is
I got
very
that.
anxious.
Should I
I'm
go
very
on the
stressed.
interview?
Yeah, it was literally when I saw that post, I'm like, this looks fun, but do I have the guts to? But then like, I live and learn, and always doesn't hurt to try once, kind of thing. So networking was one of them. The stress of providing content was another. Like, what content do people enjoy? What games people want to watch? And then the stress of not having enough viewers to watch is also another thing. I'm lucky that my online friends always come to support me. So I'm never really too worried about viewers because I'm at a point that I don't care. I just do it for fun now. And if new people come by, new people come by. If they don't, it is what it is. I just stream for fun. And I also stream just for the sake of my impulse purchase of my model.
You gotta justify that somehow.
Yeah, gotta do it somehow. But I feel like you slowly come to terms like streaming. Yes, you need your viewers to go by, but at the end of the day, as long as you have fun,
Exactly.
it's nothing to really stress out about.
Yes. I've no. How much do you stream? I've noticed that you had a gap recently. I assume that's because of work.
Yeah,
I got that.
yeah. It was, as I said, I couldn't do OT. So, so a few of my coworkers in my department had to leave on medical. Like one just recently gave birth, the other one had surgery, and then another one was sick with COVID. So we had a lot of open shifts, and we were desperate for people. I'm like, oh yeah, sign me up right now. And I'm like, oh, a little streaming career. I forgot about that. But yeah, I haven't been streaming as often as I want to. I actually did talk to a couple of other VTubers. We are planning to collab sometime next week, hopefully. I have a few planned for next week, maybe one or two, and then that's probably gonna be it for another 2-3 weeks.
Hey.
Yeah, it's mainly work, unfortunately.
Everyone has to step back.
Yeah.
How was streaming originally like incorporated into your work-life imbalance?
Honestly, it's because I stream so little, it hasn't really incorporated its way in. I stream when I'm able to, or when I have a new game and content I want to release for everyone to watch. Unfortunately right now, there is no set schedule. I stream when I can. If there's a new game, new horror game especially, I stream those, and if there's nothing, then I just hang out and play games.
Do you ever want to work or want to stream by a schedule?
Yes, I do. I don't know when. My stream time has always been late at night. Like, not late, but like in the 7 p.m. EST, usually around that time. And usually on Wednesdays and Thursdays, since those are my off time.
How do you sleep?
How late do I sleep?
How's your sleep? I should say.
How's my sleep?
Yeah, how's your sleep?
Who sleeps anymore these days? So this actually is influenced by my cat.
Oh.
I'm not allowed to sleep before 1 a.m. I have to sleep after my cats demand breakfast at 1 a.m. Sometimes 1:30 a.m. If my cats want to eat, I have to get up and feed. If I don't get up, everything in my room goes into shambles. I kid you not. Everything on my desk gets thrown off the desk. Everything on my walls get thrown off the walls. If my cat doesn't get fed, everything in my room is on the floor. It's a scary threat, my cat.
That is threatening. That is ominous. And not ominous. You are you in alliance with your dogs because of that? Or?
My dogs just sit and watch it all happen, and actually, my dogs benefit from it. Because if there's tasty treats on the table, it's in their mouth now.
I see.
If there's anything chewable on the table, whether it's a toy or not, it's in their mouths now. My cat, if there's something breakable on the table, cat's gotta break it. I had this little baby Yoda cup on my desk one time. And it was not even 1 a.m. yet. It was probably 12:30. And my favorite cat, Aries, would always be like, she's the one that knocks everything. The other three just kind of hang out and they actually wait when they're fed. Aries is the one that needs to be fed. If she's not fed, if you don't give her attention, everything goes off. So she sits by on my desk by the cup, and I'm like, don't you do it. Don't you dare do it, Aries. She'll meow at me, looks at me, and then she'll do her little cat thing where she's playing with the cup, and then she's trying to toss it towards the edge. And I kid you not, you would yell at her like, don't do it, and she'll stop. And then she'll just kind of hang out next to the cup. So from sitting, she's lying down next to the cup. And I just go back to reading my webtoons, and then in the corner of my eye, you can see her kind of do a movement with her paws, and I'm like, what are you doing? She does this fake stretch as if she didn't mean to touch the cup, and then she'll pretend to sleep. She'll close her eyes, and you're like, okay, I'm watching you. I go back to doing my own thing, and then later you could see in the corner of her eye, your eye again, she opens her eyes a bit, and then she uses her paws to move the cup. And you turn around, call her, warn her again, and she'll close her eyes immediately, pretending she's not doing anything. And if you keep staring at her, you could see she occasionally opens her eyes to peek to see if you're still watching. And then after a few minutes, I'll go back to doing my own thing. And she continues. She pretends to stretch and finally knocks it off. I bounce out of the bed. She immediately gets up, runs off, goes to her table where she eats her dinner and breakfast, and she waits there. She's like, it's about time you're feeding me. And I'm like, oh my god. This demon.
Food? Where's my food?
Yeah, she's like, it's time. The gauntlet's been thrown. You have to feed.
Exactly.
And then after she's fed, she snoozes for the rest of the night. Doesn't do anything. And then she'll come sit next to me as an apology, but that's it. And I'm like, oh god. This cat is a psycho. She's adorable though.
I'm betting. How do you view work?
Stressful. I, at this point, think I have Stockholm Syndrome with my job. That's how bad it is. It's terrible. I want to leave my job so much, but although the pay is not good, the benefits that I have for my pets is too good to not stay. I literally work blood, sweat, and tears for my pets. Literally. Worth it. It's probably worth every bit. Not worth the pay, but if God forbid happens and anything happens to my first 5 pets, everything covered. And I don't need to worry about it.
What
until
about
I get to vet school.
what, what about your last 3 pets?
They're cover at base, so
Okay.
usually it could be half off or like two-thirds or a quarter off, and it's not too bad. I could for that. I also got pet insurance for all of them. When I do get into if I do get into vet school and I had to quit my job, I had pet insurance that will cover their cool.
Alright. What does work mean to you? Or what does a job mean to you?
I mean, what is that phrasing called? Something meets the ends. I don't even remember.
It's a means to meet the ends.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, that's exactly how I feel about this. About work in general. If I am able to pay off and buy pet food, pet supplies for my kids, then yeah. I do love working though. I'm a workaholic, as I mentioned many times. As bad as it is. I do enjoy working. But it's definitely something I just do for the sake of my pet.
I got that.
The ends justifies the means.
Exactly.
Things, right?
There we go. Means to end, the end justifies the means. Yeah, they vice versa.
Same difference.
Do you see VTubing as work or a job?
At this point in time, I see VTubing more as something, almost a hobby, like a side gig kind of thing, to do it for fun. If I get paid for it, kudos. I have more money for my pets. If I don't, I just do it for fun. Just like a pastime.
I got that.
I would love to make this into a career if there's ever a opportunity, but in the meantime, it's just pastime.
I got that. How do you view other VTubers whose job and income are centered around streaming or content creation?
Awesome. I admire them for able to do that. I love video editing. I love it, but I've been stuck with one video edit for the past 3 months, and I haven't gotten back to editing yet. So honestly, I admire every VTuber that actually edit their videos, post them, go through the videos, and do all their magic behind the scenes. I admire them for finding the time to do that. It could just be me working too much, not being able to find the time, but I also get lazy pretty often from video editing. When I started editing my video, I was on it for like hours. After a while, I'm just like, what video am I editing? What am I doing? What? And I haven't touched it since.
I feel that. As a person who edits their own shorts and hopefully actual full-length videos, it's a chore.
Yeah.
It's a terrible chore. Especially as the procrastination monkey starts driving me away from content creation.
I get that.
How did I end up here?
I'm sorry?
How did I end up here? Hero.
I don't know. I think that's a good question for both of us.
Exactly. How did you end up here?
Curiosity, and as I mentioned, impulse purchase.
This interview, as it turns out, everybody, I've been bought. This was a impulse. Kuro bought me. Yes. Bought me in order to interview her. And to promote her streams, everything. She's actually coming for a wonderful, big ol' comeback. In a week.
a week, and then
In a week, yeah.
in a few weeks.
Uh,
And
we'll see how things fit.
yeah, see how it goes.
How do you? I understand you have like, you usually like to play like a new game on stream or any new game you have at the moment. But is there anything? Is there? How do you come up with ideas for content and to engage your audience?
Truth be told, my content hasn't ever been like, oh, this is exactly what I'm going to do for this video. It has never been that way. It has always been on the whim. If there's a game I want to play and it looks fun, interesting, scary, I have my group of friends that play the same horror games with me all the time. I would message them, hit them up, hey, we're streaming. At least I'm streaming and we're playing this game, and that's usually how it goes down. It has always been a horror themed game. I do have a couple of new games that I wanted to try streaming, but I never gotten around to do it because, as I mentioned, I'm kind of lazy. I always forget to do it. I do tend to rather stream with friends rather than streaming by myself usually. There are games I wanted to stream which are solo games, but I'm an awkward taco and I don't like playing games and streaming on my own. I always have to have someone there
Someone
to create content. Because I get awkwardly quiet and I'm just like, what do I say now? What do I do now?
Would you say chat activity and your viewer number really affects you?
Viewer numbers does affect me sometimes. I get surprised when I see an increase of viewers. I'm like, whoa, who are you guys? They're new. Like, welcome. And then some days there will be like only my friends, which is fine. Followers do affect me, which I don't see how it never affects anyone. It does affect me every now and then. I do notice people sometimes unfollow due to lack of content, which is perfectly fine. I can't put a gun to their head and be like, stay here. Everyone has their own preference. You do you. I try not to get it to affect. I just kind of, if I just go by, if they're here, they're here. There you go. There you go. Nothing we can do about it. Also because I don't stream often, so I'm always justifying reasons why they left, and I'm like, I should stop doing that.
I assume you've introduced your the friends that you like play horror games to Discord React, so that like they appear on stream via like images or something. No. They're all
only
in the
because they're all in the lobby. They're all just hanging out. Also, I struggle with technology. So I'm like, like when I started streaming with other YouTubers, they're like, oh, what's your PNG? I'm like, what's a PNG?
What's up?
What's a PNG? They're like, you just need a photo of your model. I'm like, oh, well, here's a photo, like literally what I did to you. Here's my photo. That's all I had. The struggle is real. But and when they're like, oh, I see other VTubers when they stream, they had a cute little picture of their collab motto, like popping up and down. I'm like, oh, that's cool. How do you do that? One of them teach me, and I'm like, I can't remember it now. If you ask me, I'm like, what do I do? What is this? Huh? So I'm at a point that I just kind of gave up. I'm like, you know what? I'll put your name in the title. I'll put if I remember how to do it, I'll do it. But if not, you're just here. You're just a voice in everyone's head at this point.
Struggle of a humanities a humanities major.
It really is.
Yeah. You mentioned that you played Valorant and are a dignified silver rank 3. Um, do you ever? How often do you have like a special team or like a team of friends that you play with, or are you soloing?
I do actually. I do.
Yeah.
I do solo queue every now and then, just to see if I could meet funny, weird people. Oh, I meet a lot of weird people.
Alright.
But whenever I want to do like a comp game, I always
Yeah.
have a designated person to go to, which is my best friend, who's actually also in in chat. I will always ask her to play, and if I want a 5-stack, I will ask the other group of friends that typically plays. When we have more than 5, we would just do custom games.
Custom game.
Yeah, and custom games, I will always cry because we would go against the comp team that I grind with, and they will always one-hit KO me, and I'm just like, this sucks. This isn't fun anymore. I'm just dying non-stop. I typically will only... I want to try playing with new people, but I'm also the type like, oh, I have my group of people. I don't want to expand it anymore.
Yeah.
Like
I
the
got
comfort
that.
zone.
You don't want to. You don't want a bronze rank. You don't want any platinum rank. None.
I just don't want someone that ruins my elo.
That's what. You see, that is very important in Valorant.
Yeah.
You're.
It
You're
really is. It is because, as I told you, my comp friends that I play with,
Yeah.
they are like up there, they're not radiant, but they're like diamond. And even if they have a Smurf account to help me stay in my elo, because of how well they play, it ruins the elo already. And we would be playing plat lobbies, and I'm like, come on, I'm a silver. I can't play plats.
You see, you're the low rank that always holds people back.
I am. I'm their bronze. That's what it is.
I got that.
Skill issue. It is a skill issue.
Is there any like memorable moments you'd like to share from either like horror games or Valorant?
Horror game. I have. The memorable parts are just literally me screaming halfway down, and they would I call them horror game grinder group.
Yeah.
They will always say, let's play in-game chat only. And I'm like, you guys are trying to give me a heart attack. I would purposely, when we play in-game chat only, I will purposely turn on my press to talk and scream. I'll be screaming so they know I'm freaking out. And those would be the memorable. I would cry every time because, as I mentioned, I can't play alone, especially a horror game, so I always need sounds. I always need my friends talking in my ears, and when it's completely silent, I'm just screaming to myself. So I scream into the mic so that monsters could come towards me as I run towards my teammates and go after.
You're practically like Shaggy and Scooby, meant to be bait. Or
Yes.
for you to then like drag the monster towards your friends to either catch or absolutely eviscerate them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm that. I'm the bait, and because they use me as bait, I will show them what baits do.
I got that. You mentioned you've collabed with other VTubers, yes? Alright. Have you made any friends that way, or made any like online friends that way?
Yeah, actually, I didn't really reach out to that many. I reached out to a few, and I really collabed only with a few of them. But I'm still in contact with the first one I streamed with. My very first VTuber stream, I streamed with someone else. I still talk to that person. We still hang out sometimes. And the second one occasionally hangs out with me in my Discord, just hanging out in general. I did make a new friend, but we haven't actually collabed yet. I only met her through other VTubers. But I want to say I must keep in contact with a few of them, like the majority of them.
I got that. Besides issues with technology, as a fellow Luddite, what other issues do you have while collabing?
I have a lot of internet. Oh, streaming and collabing. So I'm actually using Ethernet because my Wi-Fi is absolute trash. Every now and then I would get, especially dependent on the game, it would cause the stream to lag completely, and then the model starts lagging as if it's going through an elevator.
I guess.
So the last stream I did, I actually had to turn off the model because it was getting way too... For some reason, it would get way too laggy, and it could not work.
I got that.
So that my biggest problem is really network and the graphics card, I want to say, maybe that could be the problem. I'm not too sure. I'm not techie.
Don't worry. As far as I know, these little things that are in my black box I call a computer tower, as far as I know, are like magical Legos that are put together and made to think on their own or something. As far as I know, they just function. And if I find a better Lego, I add or I replace my old Lego into the big collection of Legos I have.
I love that. I love that analogy. That's so cute.
Yeah. So it could. I mean, like, it could be a GPU issue. It could be a CPU issue. It could be a something you.
Could be all the above issue.
Who knows? Who knows? Hopefully, it's not too expensive.
We'll find out.
I got that. I got.
Oh, another problem I do often run into, which is fixed now. My cats will always turn off my PC mid-stream.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
My very first stream I've done, my cat decided to turn it off whilst I'm in the back rooms, the game back rooms. And I'm like, oh, there I go. The stream completely cuts off.
Oh.
And I was like, oh no. And I would have to go onto my phone, connect back to the Discord. I'd be like, I'm so sorry, my cat turned off the PC. And we had to end that game there because there was no way I'm going back into the back rooms. But yeah, and it happened more than once. I finally fixed it. My friend taught me how to adjust the button where if it's pressed, it just puts the PC to sleep rather than or turn off the monitor rather than turn off the whole PC. And I'm like, I'll take it. Hopefully, it never happens again.
Hopefully. What do you have?
We'll
do you have like a touch sensor for your power button?
No, it's an actual button, and my cats will stretch and step on it.
Smart cats.
Smart cat.
Mm-hmm.
Can't stop them.
Yeah.
Stopping.
I'm gonna go back to your model. Did you hire an artist and rigger separately?
No, the artists actually did both by themselves. All by themselves. And I'm like, wow. That's wild.
Interesting. How did you feel when you got your model?
Oh my god, I was so excited. I was they would keep in touch with me whenever they finished the rough draft, the coloring, and every time I'll be like, that is exceptional. So
Mm-hmm.
when she sent me the final draft, I was like, oh my god. It was amazing. It was beautiful. Like, this is so nice. I was so excited. But because I was a complete noob, I would be just messaging him, how do I do this? What program do I download? What do I do here? I felt so bad because just when the artists thought they were completely done with me, I kept asking them questions.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, I'm like in love with the model, how it looks and everything. I have little to no complaints about it. I am planning to get a new one for shits and giggles. Also because, as I mentioned, the artist hasn't been drawing lately, so I can't do any add-ons. So I have been looking into getting a new model, but right now I'm gonna hold off on that and decide to get a little chibi model of mine. And I'm like, that's so cute, and I have to get one. I'm just itching to spend money, honestly.
I get that. What was the inspiration for the next model?
When I was on the Discord channel for Vtubers, I like to window shop. So I was like scrolling through people's artwork because I love admiring those too. And I saw this really cute model. She called it the peanut model. It was adorable. It was a very tiny, not very tiny, but it was a chibi version of a model. And I was obsessed. I was in love. I immediately, actually, this happened all last night. I reached out to the artist actually and be like, I love your model. Can I inquire about it? And I'm actually setting up get that done. As if I have money to do this, but I'm like, I need it. I want it.
Let's see. Where do you see yourself as a VTuber a year from now?
Probably not too far into the success based on my work life and how busy I am. I cannot see myself streaming often as I hope to do, unfortunately. But I'll probably be stagnant. Not gonna lie. Just be like, a year from today, I'll still be how I am, but probably busier.
Yeah, that. What could stop you from VTubing?
What could stop me? School.
School.
Well, it's definitely school, and if I need to upgrade a PC, that could be another thing. I don't see myself stopping because of boredom or anything. It's most likely stopping because the schedule just got too busy.
I got that.
Reality hits hard.
It does. Sometimes it hits like our good old pal truck.
Yeah.
Alright, everyone. We will now be polling and going through chat for questions as we hydrate ourselves. I'm personally going to be sipping on some club soda here. What about you? What about you, Kuro?
Just water. I've been drinking way too much soda. I need water.
I got that. Let's go over. How you doing so far?
Good. Just chilling. Just hanging.
Exactly.
Getting hot. It's getting really hot.
If it's any reassurance, you're doing wonderful. This interview.
Oh, thank you.
Just keep to the script, and we will be fine.
Bet.
Bet. Alright. So, you ready for some community questions, or do you need another minute?
No, I'm ready.
Alright. Your workaholicism is showing. Rolling with the punches.
Oh man, it's coming out even through VTuber streaming. Ooh. Ooh.
Alright, so, from Nebo earlier, how often do you meet a owner that has, like, this super old dog that's alive by a thread, but, like, she's trying to keep it alive for another 2 years?
Unfortunately, I don't really work with the clinic where I deal with owned animals. I work with more of the adoption center. But I have seen, I can confidently say I was one of those people. I can't say that it's often that it happens. Usually if the animal shows signs of complete decline and we don't think treatment can help, then usually it will just be recommended to humanely euthanize rather than spend X amount of money on a chance that may not work. So it actually did happen with one of our shelter animals actually the other day, unfortunately, where the animal went in for, it was a feral cat, went in for a sedated exam, and he could, after the exam he went back to the house, but then he wasn't waking up. He had a very slow recovery from the anesthesia. Brought him back to the medical center. We tried to reverse the effects, try to bounce him back up, but he wasn't responding well. As a matter of fact, his paws actually got very cold. So treatment at that point wasn't really a fair option for this cat because he was just not there anymore. According to the veterinarians I was working with, they wanted to try to do a catheter and try to bounce it up, give it fluids and everything, but because we were told it's a feral cat, we're not sure if the cat was going to become fractious and harm the staff as well as harm themselves when the catheter's in them. So, and because the cat was just declining, the temperature was going down, blood glucose pressure was I can't even speak. Sugar levels was going up off the charts. It was starting to show signs as if the cat was diabetic. And then it was just more and more reasons for the veterinarians to believe that humane euthanasia was the best idea. In the end, we did euthanize him, unfortunately. But as sad as it is, it happens when we try to pull them back together. We actually also, off topic, we did have people return animals or give up their animals because they're old. Sad.
How do you cope with that? Or how do I phrase this? How do
we work with that?
Yeah, how do you, like, well, no, like, how personally do you deal with deal with animals that have to be euthanized?
Quite hard. It's never easy, and I could confidently say now it'll not get any easier, unfortunately. I had a few times, probably out of my career, the whole time I was there, I probably had to watch a euthanasia twice. And then once where euthanasia was too late. And that was my own feral cat.
I got that.
I cried almost every time. I cried every time. Even when the feral cat the most recent one I had nothing to do with, still cried. Maybe it might have been because I was the one holding on to him. Like restraining him while the doctor euthanized him. That may have affected me to cry, but I've come to accept that these things happen and there's no other ways. Sometimes human euthanasia is the best option.
You got that? So who let the dogs out?
My dogs?
Yeah.
Luckily the door is right there. Literally, I got up and let them out of my room. They've been out since.
Let's see. What other question? Do you play Overwatch?
I do play Overwatch.
Yeah.
I'm absolute trash at it. I just recently started Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
I realized that I am not a good DPS or
Alright.
healer
Alright.
or a tank.
Okay.
Or none of that at all. But I did do great as a tank once, and I even got play of the game once, so I think I could take that as a win.
Hey, you roll with it.
I'm taking it.
What did you feel a difference between like Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2?
I
Like
never
gameplay or-
played
Yeah.
Overwatch 1, unfortunately. Oh wait,
Yeah.
just kidding, I have. I tried to play Overwatch 1, and
Yeah.
I got so confused. I never got through tutorial,
Oh,
so I stopped playing.
alright.
I didn't know what to do. Overwatch 2, I had my friend walk me through everything. Literally through every agent, he walked me through it, so I got the ropes from there. I've heard that Overwatch 2 was actually supposed to be very different from how it is now.
Yes.
My friends are saying how Overwatch 2 is just a copy-paste of Overwatch.
Yeah, that's what a lot of its fan base and other gaming circles have been pointing out. With all the scrapped features that Blizzard didn't put out on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. This is Jordan94. Which type of cat/dog breed reminds you the most of mint chocolate chip?
What does that even mean?
Well, I assume what kind of cat or dog reminds you of the flavor of mint and chocolate.
That's such an odd question.
It's a very odd question. I do my best to comprehend.
It's all good. In terms of cat, maybe a tuxedo cat, because
Tuxedo
black
cat.
and white. And I know there are mint ice cream that is black and white. So tuxedo cat for that. Dogs, pointer dogs. Only because they're black and white. Usually. Actually, no. I'm thinking back now. Maybe I should say Torties, because just as mint chocolate chip ice cream is like kind of fresh.
Yeah.
Torties are fresh in terms of behavior. They're spicy. They're fresh cats. Dogs, Chihuahua. They're very fight fresh. I'm not the biggest fan of Chihuahuas. They're cute though from afar.
okay. The type of mint you're aiming for is like that strong mint. That strong,
strong
mint
mint.
flavor. Mm-hmm. That stuff that'll just like that'll keep your breath.
Linger.
Yeah, it'll linger in your breath for like the entire day.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. A good pointer to like the tuxedo cat though, as at least the stereotype I've developed, is that they're pretty like calm and collected cats. At least
Tuxedos,
from
yeah.
what I've seen. Yeah, very, very proper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Usually, black tuxedo, especially black tuxedo cats, are usually friendly.
Yeah. Give me a moment. Sorry, I had a little tech issue. There we go. Again by Nebo, I assume is referring to the Overwatch question. What rank are you in Overwatch 2?
You see, I haven't played it enough to be ranked. I actually cannot play competitive because I didn't reach the certain amount of win plays. I know my friend was like, all right, Kuro, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get you into comp. We just gotta have 20 more wins. And I'm like, that's far. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Alright.
So let's say my rank is plastic 1.
Plastic
Salary.
one? Oh.
Plastic 1.
Hey. It works. It's a rank.
Yep.
Alright. We'll do some like final questions here and wrap. I mean we have about like 10 questions here, and also a little back to the another question that popped to mind regarding to your career as a vet, or your career to be a vet. Let's start with that one just so we get that out of the way. How was your family's reaction to you wanting to become a vet, or what are their attitudes towards you becoming one or pursuing
They
a career?
were so excited.
Oh.
I can tell you now, I've always wanted to be a vet, and my parents and family knew that, but because I stopped doing that, I went to anthropology, started my job. I didn't know what I was going to do for a while. Truthfully, one of the major reasons why I went back into studying to be a vet was because of my cat.
Yeah.
At the time I started working at the shelter, I only had 2 dogs. I wanted these 2 cute white kitties, kittens, 8 weeks old, and now I'm like, I need them. My parents were very against it because my second sister was highly allergic at that time.
Yeah.
They were severely against it, and I'm like, but they're so cute. They're like, no, absolutely not. I said this out of curiosity of what they would say. I asked, if I go back to study for vet school to become a veterinarian, can I adopt these cats? So, I kid you not, they said yes so fast. I couldn't even come up with another excuse. They were like, yes. And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, adopt the cats, go back to vet school, perfectly fine. I'm like, oh my god, it only took that to get my cats. My mom was like, yeah.
Wow.
So I got my 2 cats. I started to study, retaking classes that I didn't do well for vet school, but it all worked out. But the only thing is, because they allowed me to take 2 cats home, I kept taking animals home. And it just kept going. And my parents kept saying, it's okay, you're going to become a vet one day. You can take care of them all for yourself. I'm like, yeah. Kept adopting. Now I have 8. Technically, I have 10 under my name. My sisters and my brother-in-law's dogs are also under my name.
I see.
So. Crazy.
To sum up, your parents pretty much enabled your adoption addiction.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
It's funnier because I know you asked me the question earlier in the stream where you're asking which is my favorite. I'm not the only one that has a favorite. Each
Oh.
of my pets, my family has a favorite. My mom's favorite is my long-haired cat, the one that is heterochromic in eyes.
Alright.
Her favorite cat, we call her the Empress. Because
Empress.
she rules the house. The Empress. All other pets are actually very scared of her. Except
I
for her
see.
sister, which is Aries, my favorite. My dad is obsessed with Aries. And she's known as the fat. She's the fat cat because she's 16 pounds. Because my dad would feed her every time he's home. She would run up to him, jump into his lap, and he would just feed her greenies nonstop. So now she's the fat cat. Bubby, my eldest dog, is my second sister's favorite dog. My second dog, the Pomeranian, is my oldest sister's favorite dog. My Cairo, my German Shepherd Chow Chow, is my youngest sister's favorite animal. My favorite is obviously my cat, Aries. And Yui is no one's favorite. She's a pain in the arse. She is a bad dog. I love her to bits though, but she's no one's favorite. My third sister's favorite is her own cat that I adopted, Zen, which is still under my name. And then everyone else are on equal level, unfortunately for them. But yeah, everyone has favorites. I'm not allowed to, if I ever move out, I'm not allowed to take any of my cats.
Wow.
Because my parents would be very devastated. And
But the dogs are on the table.
yeah, they are. They are. They're up for grabs.
Alright. Do you have any future content project other than next week's collab?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, there is one, not collab, but more of just a open stream where I'm playing with my group of friends. We are trying to finish the Outlast Trials game. We finished it, we've got our freedom, but there was a new program that came out in the game that we wanted to try out, but we never had the time to do that, unfortunately. As for collabing, other than the ones I've told you, no. There is one that wanted to have like a little group of something, but I'm not too sure. We never really discussed on that. I think she's been too busy as well to really talk about it. So, but other than that, yeah, there's not much planning on the rise.
Alright. Have you ever streamed on TikTok?
I don't know how to do that, so no.
I got that. Do you ever plan on once you learn?
Maybe. I think the only time I did a live stream on TikTok was for a cat at work.
Yeah.
I literally just this was way before I got my avatar, my model. I just had, during my break, put up my TikTok because that time I had a skyrocket of followers because of my animal TikToks.
Oh, that explains it all.
Yeah, I'm only popular on TikTok. It's not me. It's all my animals and all of the shelter animals. Not me, I promise you, unfortunately. But I incorporated my model to this just because I didn't want to work to keep opening a different account or a connected account. So I would post animals every now and then. But regardless, I would take out my phone, start a live stream, and it's just a cat at the live stream. Just sitting there.
I got that. That's your everyone on TikTok. That's the new meta to get 1,000 followers, and even like 3,000 followers. So you can easily get that. What is it? The ability to live stream on TikTok.
Yeah.
And that's by just like live streaming a cat for X amount of hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy. Just get a cute animal video and you're TikTok famous.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you very much for sharing that metadata or meta
You're
information.
welcome. You're welcome.
Exactly.
I hope it helps you guys.
Yes, thank you. I hope everyone else is thankful. Anywho. Let's see. This question might, like, apply to a lot of things. So I'm just gonna lay it out, and let you, take from it as is. Do you worry about failure or, stagnation?
Oh, that's failure has always been my whole life thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a point where I have accepted failure happened, and there's not much you can do but learn from it.
I got that. Good attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides your coworkers, coworkers and friends, who else knows about your VTuber identity?
My family.
Oh, your family
family.
knows. Mm-hmm.
I tend to lay out everything, my in-post purchase to my family, and they will laugh at me. And then they'll be like, why? And I'm like, because why not? So, my whole family knows that I stream for fun and have a motto that I spent on. They were very confused as to why I would do it, but when they saw the motto, they're like, wow, that's actually very nice. I'm like, yeah, it cost this much money. And they're like, wow, was it worth it? And I'm like, yeah. Sure. But whenever my doors are closed and they hear me talking, they would know I'm streaming. Typically.
Do they know that you're in an interview?
Yes. I
Do they
have
know
to specifically tell them not to come in because I'm in.
I gotcha. Do they know that you talk talk trash about your sisters behind their back?
Oh,
Well,
don't worry. It's never behind their back. I do it.
Back to the spitefulness.
No secrets in this family. If I feel a certain way, I will tell you.
I got it. Do you think being anonymous is important as a VTuber?
I feel like it's hit or miss. You could be anonymous if you if you're really well known. I feel like if you're really well known, then definitely want to be anonymous.
I got that.
If you just want to be anonymous just for sake of it, then do it up. I'm anonymous on Valorant just for the sake of it because I know a lot of people tend to, especially in Valorant, that toxic game. Toxic community, they would already assume your gender just by your name.
I got that.
So I always put it as anonymous because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people being like, hey, you a girl? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not talking in this game anymore.
Actually, that brings up a question. Like, how did people like drop games because they found out about your gender?
I haven't had people explicitly say, "Oh, yeah, I'm all for it," and then do that.
Okay.
I never had people explicitly do it. I had people just not all for, but like wait till the time runs out and not choose a character. But I wouldn't say that's mainly any correlation to me. Sometimes it has. Most of the time it hasn't. I had a lot of people be like, "Oh my god, you should be in the kitchen. You shouldn't be here." And I'm like, wow. I was like,
wow.
And that was the funniest game because I was top frag. I'm like, wow, you're really saying that to the top frag that's carrying the team. My duo, yeah, right? My duo at the time likes to add fuel to the fire. So he was like, right after they said, shouldn't you be in the kitchen? He literally said, she is in the kitchen playing this game. And I'm like, really? Really?
Okay, actually, that sounds smart. That's that's at least some level of creative misogyny.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like, yeah. So, how you doing right now?
Good. I'm chilling.
I'm
Bing chilling.
Bing chilling. um. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're going to go close up right now.
Oh, okay.
But
That's
I at some point,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. I'd like to. Oh, don't worry. I'd like to actually at some point do a follow up interview. Maybe we can like.
yeah.
I mean, like, depending on how personal we go, I'd like to. I'd like to interrogate you on certain things. Maybe like family, maybe your time in college, maybe everything else. A few topics that I can't go into right now because I'm kind of short on time. So yeah. All right. Now, everyone, we will be concluding this episode of the show. Thank you very much for coming to the stream or to the VOD, wherever you're watching this or whenever you're watching this. Thank you very much, Kuro, for your time and contribution to the show, and hopefully in later shows. Yeah. You chatters and VOD watchers will be able to find Kuro's socials, or at least 2 links to her socials. I will be adding more down in the description below. Check her out, comment, whatever. For me, I will be continuing my Dark Souls playthrough. As everyone knows, Kuro will be doing their collab stream next week. I would highly recommend checking her out.
Oh, thank you. This was a lot of fun. I expected myself to be more anxious.
Oh, it's all good.
My ADHD has definitely dragged it out.
Hey, give me as many details as you want. Because it was a great time. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Maybe the next time we do the interview, it will be my little chibi model.
Hey, maybe. That'll be great. Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Exactly. All right, so have a good time, everybody. See ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a nice night. Bye.
Bye. Have a great time. Actually, another question. Have you ever watched George Lopez?
Yes. So
really?
long. Yes.
How was that?
That was a good show. I don't remember much about it, but I remember crying and laughing. I can't remember what episode it was, but I was like, "What is this? This is so weird." But it was entertaining. I do miss those old shows, though. I remember Everybody Hates Chris or Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh yeah. I like that. I like that. I really like that. All right. Now, have a good time, everybody.
Have a nice night.
Bye.